This season of Cancelled Movie Report is brought to you by the amazing people that support us over on our newly launched Patreon. But you know what? More about that later on. Hello and welcome to Cancelled Movie Report, the documentary podcast series that talks about the best movies that Hollywood never made. My name is Michael Campbell, but you can call me Cambo, and joining me as always is actor and comedian Mr. Eden Porter.
Thank you very much for having me, Campbell.
Of course, we tried to bar him, but he's broken his way back in because he needs to know how the movie ends. Joined by, you might know him from the Welcome To Patchwork podcast, fantastic podcast, or as your other half in the Game Boys comedy duo, Mr. Josh Porter.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here and get it set for this thrilling conclusion.
Oh, good. Yes, good. We need to hype people up, I think. They've
We
had a week to really think about any plot holes that may have come up.
Mate, my head's been going non-stop about this. There's so many things have come up in the meantime.
Oh, well, we'll get into them. We'll get into them. But if you do need a refresh on what happened last week, here's a quick recap.
Hold your horsepower, Coach. Dutch isn't coming home. He's going to Arca 6.
For me personally, sadly, he's setting up all kinds of red flags.
Yeah, big time.
You've been knocked flat on your ass 13 days. 13 days is long enough to be near Arca 6. What do you know about Arca 6? I'll tell you when it's too late.
So the ship is now arriving at Arca 6.
Been dead a while.
The Predator is crucified, up on a giant crucifix, and he's barely alive. Dutch runs for it, and panicked by the encounter with his old foe. A lot of their weapons are shoulder mount style cannons, similar to Predator. They're wearing Predator armor.
Do they know what predators are? No. But they've got predator armor.
The crew is suddenly attacked by a group of predators. They're being rounded up like cattle. So the survivors, they wake up locked in cells in a massive predator camp. There is what appears to be a small arena in this camp. HARDWICK. She managed to cut her way out of the cage, and she makes a run for it, and she finds Parrish's beaten up old tracker as she does. She goes to scream when suddenly a mud-covered hand covers her mouth.
Why are you saving me?
Hey, don't flatter yourself. I need another person to man the ship, that is all. Now let's go, or we're both dead.
They're now making their way through the jungle to escape this hellhole, and they're leaving their shipmates for dead. Now, let's get back into the film.
Okay, so one thing, there are some things that are really clear, and there are other things that are just like. So the one thing I want to try and get my head around is that they don't know what predators are.
No.
And they're like, what the hell is this? Yet they're wearing predator outfits,
Yep.
and they've got like a ship with predator technology sort of stuff on it, but they don't know what predators are.
And in addition to that, Dutch is not an old man at this point.
No.
So given the technology that humans had for the original Predator,
Yep.
they've now got spaceships in the space of, 10 years?
And colonies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
so-
prison colonies on
Yeah.
other planets.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's never alluded that Dutch is any older in the script.
Okay.
They never make any mention. They say he looks a bit haggard and he's got longer hair. But Predator in 1986, this written in 1995. So you'd presume, if it's real time, 10 years.
Yeah.
If they're doing a Predator 2, 12 years.
Yeah, probably.
But,
So what's that, early 2000s?
Give themselves a couple of years leeway to
exactly.
catch up. But no, they do not know what predators are. But yes, they are using predator technology. And yes, there has been great leaps forward in technology.
Being very cagey here, Cambo.
Yeah, like caged up like the mercenaries at the Predator camp.
Well, let's get back to
Domed
it.
and cagey.
Well, this is an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Love it.
What do you expect from a good Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
I was expecting a good couple of one-liners after he kills some people.
Great.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
I'm
that'd
expecting
be
some heavy punches to kill something.
Yeah.
good. I'm expecting. Look, I'm expecting a damsel in distress at some point, and Arnold breaking something open at some point.
breaking
like
something
ripping
open.
something open or something,
Right.
going. "Ah!"
I'm expecting a jump away from some sort of explosion
Okay.
or some gunfire or something, jumping to get clear.
And I would say sprinkle in a jungle setting. Oh.
Yeah, you've got a recipe. I'm loving this, mate.
But it'll be interesting to see that this is everything you've said. I think makes sense for an Arnold movie. It'll be interesting to see which of them they've managed to put into the script.
Great.
Okay. Well, let's get back into it. We're back at the camp now with the soldiers in the cages. They're kind of domed cages out in the camp. And after the escape attempt, everyone has been returned to their cages, and Wilson, he's scratching at his neck. Remember, Wilson is the second in command here to JC.
JC, yeah.
And there's a red circular rash has appeared on his neck. And they've dragged into the camp Gonzalez, who remember last week had his legs chopped off.
He was legless after having a few drinks.
Having a few little mud sips. And they've now fitted him with metal legs. So they've given him like robotic.
No, they
haven't.
Yeah, metal legs.
What?
And
Okay, this is taking a turn.
just you wait.
I love the idea of the big black predator. I felt so terrible. I'm so sorry. I just thought it was going to scare you.
I thought it was going to like trip him up or something.
Oh, man.
Well, they inject him with a strange chemical. It's described as it's made from all the bodies and DNA of other aliens. And they take this and they inject it into him. And suddenly, Gonzalez, he goes off on a rampage. And he starts attacking and killing other people and predators in the camp, much to the amusement of all the predators. So they're essentially
Just
toying with
imagine
him now.
the predators just sitting around having, look at him. Oh.
But what they've done essentially is they have kept him alive and they're toying with him. They're like, all right, have some legs now. Like we're gonna give you this serum that's gonna send you crazy because we just want to have some fun and toy with you. Essentially,
Or it's like a bet that one of them made, like, I reckon, you know what we've never seen here? A human with metal legs. We're never going to see that. We're never going to see that.
And then another one's like, you're not gonna believe it. I got a pair of metal legs over here, human size.
Or maybe the predator was like, his dad told him, go and get that guy, and he's accidentally cut his legs off. He's like, oh my god, my dad's gonna kill me. I've got to let's.
Now, when you go, just make sure you bring him back in one piece.
Yeah.
Did he always have metal legs? Yeah, he did.
The dad predator's like, I'm not too familiar with the makeup of a human. Are their legs normally metal? Yeah, Dad. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The other thing, you mentioned a serum made up of DNA and stuff.
Yeah.
That's actually in the Predator.
Oh,
Because they do reference,
The most recent one.
Yeah, that the predators, they have some human DNA and they actually take DNA of
That's
worthy
right.
praise and add them to their own.
So yes, he's going crazy here, and all the predators are kind of like they're having their fun and they're kind of laughing at him. But they're toying with him. But once the fun is over and they've stopped being amused by Gonzalez, one of the predators actually goes up and just straight up kills him.
After spending all that trouble giving him metal legs.
Mate, there's no price you can put on the amusement of the young.
But I guess they keep the legs, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, for the next
So
guy.
the-
Yeah,
you don't
okay.
bury him with the legs.
Yeah, that's true.
But they also make a trophy out of it, which of course in predator culture means
It's
Rip out
real
his spine.
spine and brain.
Full Sub-Zero.
which I think is
Finish him.
I think is a bit facetious. Normally they make a trophy out of people that have stood up to a predator.
That's true.
But this
Yeah.
guy, they just inject it with alien goo and let him go crazy. I don't think that's a brave enough act to be de-spined.
Yeah, actually, because you keep the skulls of the worthy prey.
Unless it's like a prank. That
Oh,
it's like
yeah, it's a good prank.
They do that trophy and then they give it to, here's a really big warrior. Put it on your trophy shelf. Wow, thanks guys. That's really great. It's really generous of you.
Remember, these are teen predators.
They're up to no good.
These could be some fun predator
These are
pranks.
hijinks. Yeah, exactly.
So we're back inside the cage now. Their crew have all seen this and they're completely shell-shocked. One of their crew members have just been toyed with by these predators and killed. And we're back in the cage, specifically with Buell and Napper. And one, I think they've started to notice that Wilson is scratching on his neck. Something's going on there. And Napper can't help but notice that the predators, they're wearing the same armor
Oh, here we go.
that the
Here we
team
go.
had on when they arrived. And you know what? That's not the only thing that seems familiar around here.
That recruiter screwed me good, man. Go to exciting new lands and meet new people. Fuck.
Napper watches a predator use his shoulder gun to scare up the other predators in the cages.
They must have stolen our gear from the base.
Well, I don't think so, partner.
The others look over at Buell.
I mean, look, let's admit, our shit is fantastic, no doubt about it, but we're just not smart enough to invent shit like that. Not yet, anyway.
You saying we got it from them?
Oh, traded it? That fucking guillotine is the proof. They've been to Earth. That's what they got from us. Primitive. Human.
We traded guillotines for shoulder mounts? I can't believe that.
Not traded for guillotines. Us.
You smell a rat.
Oh, I smell a big fucking rat.
Who'd know about this?
Everyone's paying attention now. Wilson is paying attention the hardest. He's also nervously scratching the red hickey on his neck. It's getting inflamed.
JC? Sadler? Wilson?
They all turn to Wilson. He starts backing away in his cage.
Leave me the fuck alone, you fucking idiots. The enemy is out there.
Is it?
Two predators use a pulley to open the door of the cages. The doors to one of the alien warriors across the camps open. The alien is let out by the predator guards. The other cage that opens is Buell and Napper's. They look at each other.
We run, we're fucked. We stay in here, we're fucked. Either way, we're fucked.
Okay, now before we find out what happens to Buell and Napper, now they've been let out of their cage to fight, they're suspecting similar things to you, Eden.
Good. Me and Napper are on the same wavelength, mate.
That was actually Buell. So, yes, there was a guillotine in the camp, which they're thinking, that's definitely from Earth.
I love that. The sharp blade, that's the human technology.
But why would they automatically assume that's from Earth?
Well, it's a French invention. If Molyneux was there, they would have gone, sacre bleu, they have the guillotine there.
Let them eat cake.
But they're saying, like, they recognize that, I guess. Of all the weapons, they're like, that one we have on Earth as well. Yeah. We've had it for a very long time. That's very, very old invention. Whereas this outfits that we have are very, very new.
And they're suspecting it's like trade some humans for the tech. Go, you can have some warriors to fight in your little games.
Good fighters.
And they smell a rat.
Yeah.
A big fucking rat. So Buell and Napper, their cage has been opened, as has the cage across the way with another alien. Obviously, they're going to be made to fight.
With a low-tech pulley system.
Yes. Even though they're digital code doors. Buell and Napper, they make a run for it. They're not going to fight this thing.
Really?
Suddenly, the two teenage predators, they're straight after them. And the two split up into the forest and they disappear into the foliage. And during this chase, Buell, he's being chased by one of the teen predators. This thing comes up, beheads him. Oh. No more Buell. Napper, he keeps running. And while the second predator, he sends a missile after it. He ducks down as it passes. So it goes over his head.
Missile?
Like a little projectile.
Okay.
High tech.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. I'm thinking like rocket,
right.
things in the back. No, it's
I feel like they have the little wrist rocket
wrist
things. Yeah. He thinks he's escaped before he realizes the missile turns around in midair. Comes straight back towards
It's
him.
the old heat seeker. Done?
Deleted.
Done.
But Buell did come back with a metal head.
So yes, Buell and Napper, they're gone.
See you later. Okay. We didn't really learn a lot about him.
Well, you were quite close to Buell, Aiden.
Yeah.
You're on the same
You and
wavelength.
Buell they shared a brain in a way. Back at the cages, luring an acid-spitting native animal of the planet towards them. Dak and another crew member are trying to get it over. So this thing spits a little acid.
So this is the classic dog with the key in the
Yes,
prison.
yes, it is. Yeah.
Coming back to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
Yeah.
Another crew member, Turkey, is also with them. Yeah, they're luring this thing to the cages because they think that if it spits on the bars, the acid could burn through the bars and they can still escape.
But what if it spits on them, Campbell?
Wow. The acid gets onto Dak's face.
Great flag, guys. Great flag.
This happens while it's spitting on their bars. They do get it to spit on the bars. The bars disintegrate and they get out, but Dak does get some on the face.
Just a smackling, just a sprinkling of acid?
Enough to affect the vision. I'll say that much.
It's like everyone else is just like pointing over there. Dak's like got his head up. Right, this one here. This one here.
But they both slip away unnoticed.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
They managed to get away.
These prison cages have done very poorly in this film so far.
Well, I believe it was JC said last episode, it's like they want us to escape.
Yeah, that's true.
If they do escape, that's just training for the teenage predators to go hunt them down. So Dutch and Hardwick, we're back with them now. And they arrive at the landing site that they, with the burnt out kiosk and everything that they found there.
Yep.
But the ship's gone.
It was here. I just saw it before I found you.
And Hardwick tells Dutch that JC, he actually advised them to go to the prison. And she said that's where they were heading before they bumped into him. And if the ship's not here, maybe it's at the prison. Maybe that's where they've taken it to that facility. So let's head to the prison. That's where we're meant to go anyway. We can figure out what's going on. So they head back into the forest towards the prison. Dak and Turkey, they trek along the forest now that they've escaped. But clearly they're lost. And while trekking, Turkey, he slips over.
Idiot.
This forest is lousy with something. What do you reckon he slips into?
Mud.
Mud pit.
Yeah. With those
With mud leak
what is
from
it?
Earth.
Lampreys.
Previously extinct.
Yes. But these are like a modified version.
Yeah.
Yes, he slips and falls into a mud pit. And Dak doesn't know where he's gone because he can't see him
Oh, because of the acid.
because of the acid.
Oh, so is he blind at this point?
He's blinded by the acid.
Oh, wow,
He
okay.
can't see anything. So he doesn't see the turkey's fallen into a mud pit. You know what else he doesn't see? The big black predator standing right behind him.
Idiot.
Dak is sliced across the neck before he even hears anything.
Before he hears anything. Oh, that's good.
He didn't have enough time to heighten his other senses once he lost his
Not
vision.
yet, not yet.
Yeah,
But
you need that.
slices him across the neck, and black predator walks off. So Turkey gets up from the mud pit, sees what's happened. He's freaked out. He starts running through the jungle, and like happened to Gonzalez, the mud is dripping off him. And as he runs, he passes the crucified predator camp. So he's made his way across the camp. He's clearly going to landing site as well.
Yep.
And he gets tangled in some vines, and he trips and thud. And suddenly, he looks up, and he's met with some familiar faces.
Turkey? Where are the others? How did you escape? Where's JC?
Hurry up.
It's all right. He saved my life.
That's aiding and abetting, Doc.
You want to charge me, dickweed? Were you heading to the prison?
I was heading for the ship. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Ship's gone, Turkey. They took it.
What?
Listen to JC next time.
Oh, that's just fucking swell. Now what do we do?
Well, you can go with us and live, or stay and die right now. You choose.
I'll hang.
Now, we go back to the camp. Somebody over there knows where the ship is.
You think one of our own sold us out?
Yeah, I have my suspicions.
I agree something's fucked up, but it's not necessarily one of ours.
You think there could be somebody else?
Maybe. Unless...
JC.
I was thinking Wilson. He did have you tagged from the beginning.
Did we get it out of Wilson?
Get what out of Wilson? What's going on?
The ship.
Okay, so now they're heading back to the camp. And they're going to get Wilson. Because they think he knows where the ship is.
up?
What's going on. So yeah, they suspect Wilson. Now we actually cut back to Wilson. But he's not in a good way. He's being dragged from his cage by a couple of predators. And they're preparing a little, it's like a little stage for an execution, essentially. Maybe with that guillotine. that they have.
Yeah.
And he appears to be screaming.
Not me, you fucking moron! Not me!
Oh. Something's got... Wilson seems to be implying, oh no, they've got this all wrong.
Yeah.
Suddenly on the outskirts of the camp, our trio arrives. We've got Dutch, Turkey, and Hardwick. And they say, all right, look, we've got to cause a big ruckus if we're going to get Wilson out. So let's open the cages. Turkey says, well, which cages?
All of them.
Yes, well done.
Yes, good.
Well done. The trio launch a massive assault on the camp, during which they use some of their predator weaponry. They're picking up predator guns and stuff and shooting. It's a big battle. They're using all kinds of cool weaponry. And after freeing the crew, they also open the cages of all the other aliens too, to cause the biggest
more
distraction they
mayhem.
can. And during the rescue, they manage to save Wilson from the execution block. And everyone gets out of the cages. As they're escaping, however, Hardwick is caught. She's caught by the predators, and her and another teammate, Rocco, they are taken away by the predators during the escape. The rest of the group, the guys all run into the jungle, and the predators jump on some cycle sleds. That's what they're named. Essentially like the...
Speeder bikes.
Speeder bikes from Star Wars,
Yeah,
essentially.
that's what I was thinking.
And they're chasing them through the forest on these bikes. A couple more crew members are killed during this big battle. You know, the ones that we don't care about.
Yeah. Just throw it.
And the rest remain untraceable thanks to some mud. So Dutch obviously has been putting them in mud.
Around.
He's done a masterclass.
Yes.
Big
This is my mud masterclass.
Yeah, so the predators furious that they can't track these prisoners down anymore.
But,
They're all covered in mud.
the thing is, you can take your predator vision off and just use your normal...
Interesting, isn't it? In Predator 2, that is the big revelation.
Yeah.
Is, they're not just heat vision, they've got other visions.
Yeah.
Not really brought into the script at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Because you just turn on, if you're not seeing... They know they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they all go undetected. But Wilson, he's still scratching the rash on his neck. And the crew, they decide they're all going to head off to the prison. They're going to look for answers about who set them up.
Yeah.
But clearly, Wilson was about to be executed. They don't suspect him.
No, because he was just about to be executed.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But they didn't hear what he said, though.
No,
Okay.
Only we, the listener, heard that. But we're back at the camp. See, it seems the predators, they're now forcing Hardwick and Rocco to fight. They've got him in the arena. They're fighting each other.
no.
Both put on a show for the Predators, pretending to kind of fight each other, but not really doing any damage. However, seeing that this will not last forever, Rocco, he tells Hardwick to kill him. Says,
What?
Kill me, spare yourself. Like, they're never going to let both of us live.
Talk about a white knight.
I know. But she refuses.
Please kiss me, though.
She refuses at first, but she sees that this isn't going to end well. And she finally, if she does strike her down, she kills Rocco to survive. She looks up and watches the Predator. She yells out,
"Are you not entertained?"
I would say even better line.
Oh, really?
She yells out,
Round 2, you fucking lizard sacks of shit!
a group of Predators leap into the arena ready to fight. The fight is short.
Oh, no.
Hardwick is no more.
Oh, no.
Just like that.
Just like that, she's taken down by a group of Predators. That's the way to go if you're going to go.
Yeah.
But they don't mention that they make a trophy out of it, which I think is interesting.
They don't mention that.
No, they all jump down and jump at her and then cuts. And that's the last we see of Hardwick. But you'd like to think they rip her spine out. She deserves it.
Yeah. She's like, just female empowerment.
Yeah,
Get her
exactly.
spine ripped out as well.
If Gonzalez can get it for being
Yeah.
drugged up.
Yeah.
So Dutch and the others, they arrive at the prison facility. It's guarded by a group of Predators. They decide they need to get in there. They need to get the guards out of the way. So Cadillac, he actually distracts them by stealing one of the cycle sleds. And he causes the distraction. They go off chasing him.
So he's wicked.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
From Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Yeah, he's doing full wicked. Great.
He's gone full wicked. So they manage to sneak inside the facility. And Dutch and the rest witness Predator officials with someone they recognize. Sadler.
Oh, no.
Of course, from episode 1, the man that gave them the mission.
Yeah.
The Southern Fried Gentleman himself.
The Colonel.
Yes, the Colonel. Yeah, Sadler, he's walking around with the Predators. And they're noting there's a strange communication device on Sadler's neck. Similar to the area that Wilson had been scratching his rash. It's like a small little disc that they put on their neck. And it allows them to talk to the Predators.
It's one of those communications.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dutch determines that Wilson is the betrayer due to the similar mark on his neck. Wilson, of course, he denies all of this. And he kind of splits and runs away. They sneak further inside to find an underground hangar filled with Predator and alien ships, and more importantly, their own ship. It's being filled with Predator technology, and they witness modified humans with body parts from other aliens.
What?
They're doing labor. They're like these weird slave labor humans. They've been modified with maybe metal legs or alien parts, and they're loading Predator tech onto their ship.
Prison labor is the cheapest and most efficient in the world. The army wouldn't let it go unused. So the question is, what the hell did they make here?
The group, they're spotted, and they make a breakthrough, running through the facility with the Predators on their tail. The group, they split up. JC and Dutch stick together. And the rest are caught by Predators. Dutch and JC eventually end up fighting Predators hand to hand, and they end up defeating it. They go, we're in the facility, let's get some gear. They strap on some shoulder mounts.
Hand-to-hand fight. Happy with that?
Yeah, they do.
Good.
Punch.
They strap on shoulder mount cannons and a couple of bits of gear. After the encounter, they follow one of the mutated humanoids to the main docking area.
Come on, follow.
And that leads them right to Sadler. And they've had enough of Sadler's fucking bullshit. So they walk up to him and they confront him about what's going on.
Sadler, the bastard I thought I'd never see again. Not in this life, anyway.
Dutch, back from the dead yet again.
I shot your last group to hell, Sadler. I'm sure you heard about that.
Oh, yeah. And made sure you got here safe and sound, just as originally planned.
Got JC here to do your dirty work. Your arms trade is idiotic. Another example of blind government greed.
Trading technology for soldiers? What's the price we pay if we don't have this technology? Not just a few soldiers, let me tell you.
You were always such an asshole, Sadler. You dumb bastard. Putting your men on the butcher block.
You always knew the score, Dutch. Remember that special ops assignment you pulled in Afghanistan? With that woman and her baby? Now she tied a stick of dynamite to its back and handed it to your pal. Everybody dies sometime. You know that. But it's always for something. Shit. Why else do it if it's not worth something?
Yeah, I'm just curious here. What are our lives worth to you, huh?
Soldier, there came a time when we realized we were no longer the supreme beings in the universe. Hell, we weren't even second place. At that time, we made the decision to do whatever it took to put us back in the running.
A humanoid alien walks past carrying a glass jar sample of clear liquid.
See that? They got chemicals we haven't even dreamed about. Combustibles, toxins, fuels for our space fighters. Some of it looks like my granddaddy's moonshine, and probably twice as powerful. Fucking awesome stuff. And that's not even scratching the surface. It's worth all your lives, and everyone before you and everyone after you.
You traded us for technology, so we wouldn't be left behind?
We wouldn't have just gotten left behind, Dutch. We would have gotten eliminated. I'd say the survival of the human race is worth at least your life, wouldn't you?
JC looks to Dutch.
And Dutch is better than Fort Knox with a pair of legs. Seems you made quite an impression around here when you diced that big green one back on Earth. First personalized request we've ever had. You should be proud.
What are you talking about?
Didn't you know? Dutch went head to head with one of them back on Earth. A scout. Show off daredevil scouts. I've seen more skill in cross-eyed raccoons. They can't hunt for shit. Not like the captains we got here. He's been delaying this transaction long enough.
Why didn't you tell me that you had contact?
Fuck, Commander. I guess it just slipped my mind. Or maybe I just don't tingle with it.
Suddenly, the room fills with the Predator drones and a few of the Predator captains. Dutch and JC have triad marks trained on their skulls, as well as some of their own trained on Sadler.
Men have died for their country throughout history. This is history, right here, right now. And you can't change it any more than you can change it.
Wrong. Your history.
Boom! Oh! Shoots Sadler right in the head. Now, obviously, they're surrounded at this point by all kinds of Predator drones and captains and stuff. I just want to appreciate how many folksy wisdom Sadler managed to get into his story.
Small monologue. Yeah, exactly.
But villain monologue.
Yeah, monologuing.
One of the things that we do love on the show is a very long, detail-heavy villain monologue.
One thing I didn't like there that they did was that they completely undercut all of the first Predator film.
Yeah.
By saying that, oh, and that one that you thought was like a really shitty one, that he was just a scout and he doesn't know how to do anything and he was really easy to fight. That is insulting to the first Predator film.
They love doing that in sequels, don't they?
Yeah, I know. It's just, oh, man.
That other one's actually a joke, actually.
Yeah.
And if you like it because it's a joke.
Yeah.
But, okay, so explaining quite a lot about what's going on here.
Yeah.
It seems Earth, since that Predator in 1986, have been secretly trading with the Predator race for technology. So hence they've had a big upshoot in their technology being so advanced. They've been able to do interstellar travel. They've been able to use Predator outfits. But the world as a whole didn't know about this. Dutch, he shot Sadler straight in the head. And suddenly everything kind of kicks off here. And the Predators all start shooting, and they're shooting back at them with the cannons. But they actually managed to escape by... They described before one of the little alien creatures carrying a clear thing of liquid. Said it's like starship fuel. But it's completely flammable as well. Yes. So they shoot a big old case of that flammable liquid, and everything goes up. And it's on fire, and the whole facility is coming down.
One of them should be holding the acid-spitting lizard and just going... at everyone.
Dutch and JC, they actually encounter Turkey and Wilson. Remember Wilson ran off earlier, who were being led out of the facility by Predators. They managed to kill the Predator guards, and all four of them jump onto cycle sleds, and they flee. And the Predators are in pursuit again. After some driving through the jungle, Dutch and JC, they find themselves alone. See, Turkey, he ends up with something he sees something burning in the distance, and he decides to go and follow it. And Wilson, he's...
As you do.
As you do.
You guys can do that. I'm just going to follow this burning thing
by myself.
Guy, I know we're escaping, but what's that?
I've got this weird thing about smoke.
Yeah.
I just have to check it out.
And during the escape, Wilson is actually flung from the back of a cycle sled. So Dutch and JC on one, Wilson and Turkey on the other. Mm-hmm. Turkey driving it, Wilson on the back. Wilson's flung off.
So Wilson wasn't like doing the hug.
Not tight enough, as it turns out. He doesn't have the
okay.
big biceps of a Dutch to keep attached. So Wilson by himself in the jungle, Turkey gone off to see whatever the smoke is, and Dutch and JC by themselves. We're back in the first clearing now that we found in episode 1 with the crucified predator. And the crucified predator, he still sits there. He's still hanging from the crucifix. And Dutch approaches him.
Wait, this is your plan?
Dutch pulls a predator blade out of its sheath.
Cutting one of them loose? No, fuck that idea. Fuck that idea in the mouth, Dutch.
The hell are you talking about? I trust this ugly motherfucker before anyone else around here.
The predator is waking up. Dutch rips a leg off a dead Pegasus and rubs the green blood into the predator's wounds.
Yeah, and this one, it could be a fucking Charles Manson lizard man.
Oh, the Jesus Christ. Whatever he did to deserve this was probably something against the others. If we cut him loose, he might want to leave before anyone else finds him.
What, leave the planet?
Exactly. And we go with him. Any enemy of theirs is a friend of mine.
The last bind comes off the predator's wrist. The predator's hand shoots up and grabs Dutch's throat. They share an uneasy gaze. Then the renegade predator releases him. It walks over to the cycle sled. Dutch and JC follow it.
You're lucky this one's a good sport.
Dutch climbs on the cycle with the renegade predator.
So what do you think? You coming?
Oh, they got a teammate.
Mate, they missed a perfect opportunity to do the Arnie as Dutch with the Dylan, you son of a bitch handshake. Would have done that.
That would have been
perfect.
so good. Yeah. Oh, now I'm sad.
Good little trio. Good plan.
Good plan.
Very good plan.
Is it a good plan? They didn't know what was going to happen.
I think it's a good plan. I agree with the logic of it.
Okay,
Like if he's been crucified, but also he's an alien, so maybe he would just kill the humans.
This, interestingly, is an element that did end up bleeding over into Predators.
Yes, they did.
At the end, during the big battle, Adrian Brody, who is the Dutch of that film, though not Dutch, he goes and frees the crucified Predator as well, thinking if they hate this Predator, maybe the Predator's going to help me.
Yeah.
So Turkey, he finds his way to where the smoke's coming from. And what does he find? But Cadillac.
Oh.
And see, Cadillac...
Oh, yeah, he was
smoking up.
Yeah.
He's better than that. He's actually barbecuing a dead predator.
No, he's not.
He's cooking it. He's cooking it over an open fire. And the two sit down. They
Great plan, military person.
They have a bit of... I think he's resigned to the fact that he's
Yeah.
fucked. In fact, they even say he's a bit drunk at this point. So he's... I don't know where he got the alcohol.
Moonshine fuel, right?
I guess so, yeah. He's a bit drunk. He's barbecuing a predator. I think he's resigned to the fact that, like, we're not getting off this fucking planet. So Turkey joins him, and they're having a good time. They're eating the predator. They're bantering.
They're eating the predator. This is some good predator.
But soon, the red laser dots appear, rustling in the bushes. Turkey and Cadillac.
Does it?
They went out doing what they love.
Does it just? They all get blown up.
It says that they're killed by a dozen pissed off predators.
I feel like there's not enough creative ways of killing people. Like there seems to be a lot of like, and they're shot in the head, and they're just killed and stuff. So like, it'd be cool to do a few more.
That's true. There
different-
hasn't been that many creative deaths yet.
Yeah. Like there's a laser net that they can like.
I guess
go
part
to
of it's
people
like, as opposed to like other films, it's like, no, when they kill them, they're just going to kill them. Like they're predators.
Like effective.
They just get to do what needs to be done.
I will also say, and this is going to become evident in just a few moments, this is the first draft.
Okay, yeah, cool.
So
okay.
perhaps in later drafts you would say, all right, well, here are all the death scenes. How can we make them more creative?
Interesting. Yeah, gotcha.
So meanwhile, it's revealed that Wilson was actually caught by the Black Predator while he's out in the forest. And the Black Predator intends to make a grand fight out of him. He brings him into an arena with hundreds of predators standing around, watching. And there's a giant throne at the end of it.
They're like, we came here for the cockroach show. What is this?
During Wilson's given his best against the Black Predator, and during this fight, the King Predator shows up.
There is actually a King Predator.
And he begins to knight various other predators as he enters.
Hang on, what?
Yeah.
There's a regal structure in Predator.
Yes, there is. There is like a monarchy.
Great.
And then there's and then Merlin, Predator Merlin comes out, and so this is going off the rails.
He's knighting other predators as he arrives. What they describe as a bloody.
Yeah.
Wilson He's eventually killed in this arena fight against the Black Predator.
I thought Wilson was in on it.
Wow. First draft.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
There's a couple of plot holes coming up. The Black Predator, he rips Wilson's spine out, makes trophy out of him. He gave him a good name. Unlike Hardwick, who wasn't deserving of it, apparently. So, the trio of Dutch, JC, and the Renegade Predator, they're chased down by other predators as they're coming into this main arena bit. And they come off their sled and they crash. And the Renegade Predator, the one that they freed, he disappears into the jungle, leaving just Dutch and JC. JC and Dutch, they're brought into the camp and they're led towards the large throne of the Predator in the middle of the arena.
There's the leader, up front.
How the hell do you know that?
He's wearing a headdress. How many of these things do you see wearing a headdress?
The capturing predators push them both forward. They are the main offering now. The king predator sizes them up, especially Dutch.
Remember when I told you that you should expect to be fucked over?
JC reaches over to his wrist and he uncuffs himself. He steps aside, closer to the king predator.
Oh, we've just made it double.
Dutch is only slightly taken aback. In a way, he figured as much.
I'm sorry, Dutch.
JC reaches into the pocket of his jacket and removes a small metallic barrel device and sticks it on his neck. He looks like one side of the Frankenstein monster with the bolt sticking out of his neck. Only this bolt begins to emit a small light around the outer edge. JC opens his mouth to speak, and out comes a familiar predator clicking sound as he communicates with the Predator King. The King nods in agreement with JC, who bows to the King before uneasily facing Dutch for the last time.
You'd sell out your own men? For this?
Well, they weren't really my men. I'm just a pawn, Dutch. If you were still in the service of our country, you'd know what that means. And I have to do what is necessary to ensure that we are still at least second place in the universe, or we would all be dead.
Dutch lunges at JC, who doesn't flinch. Several predators grab Dutch and hold him back in his place. Dutch struggles, his veins in his neck are thick as cords.
You're showing the chief exactly what he wants to see.
Dutch headbutts another predator. More hold him back. JC looks to the King, who nods in approval.
They don't want me. They want you. Don't you see you are the offering to the king. It was my job to make the delivery, and then I head back to the ship with the goods. Okay, I'm sorry, Dutch, but I have a country to serve.
Dutch tries to show the predators that he's calm now. We know he's not.
You killed one of theirs back on Earth. That was the secret behind you. Your true value to the mission. So save your energy, Dutch. You're gonna need it.
Yeah, well listen to me when they tell you this. They'll come back to Earth. Armies of them. So many that you would not believe. They'll destroy us all completely. And the sad thing is, we invited them in. We showed them our weaknesses.
Dutch strains against the grip of the predators, wanting one more shot at JC.
That day may come. Sooner or later it has to rain. That's the price of peace.
The King is looking between Dutch and JC. He grabs a speared weapon from his throne. JC can see that a battle is about to commence. But then the King tosses the spear to JC. He catches it and looks at the King, puzzled.
What?
The King grabs another spear. He tosses it to Dutch. Dutch knows what's going on here.
No.
And he smiles to JC.
Well, at least they're good sports.
Okay, okay. Let's break this down. I don't think that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Why did Wilson have the rash on his neck? Was he hidden on it too? Why does everything JC's done up to this seem to be against their mission?
Why don't they just do, if this is the mission, why didn't they just do the mission? Yeah. Like, why didn't they just deliver Dutch to the King? Why did the predators ambush them?
So many steps in this mission that could have been avoided if JC was in on it and knew that they had to deliver Dutch to the predators.
The other broader point, right? They've killed guards and all these other predators, right, throughout all of this. Yet Dutch, who killed the one on Earth, they're like, oh my God, Dutch is incredible.
Yeah.
He killed a
that's what I mean.
predator.
That's what I mean.
He's amazing.
The one that wasn't shit, apparently.
Yeah, right?
But the other thing that doesn't make sense is that whole conversation in the cell with Dutch of like, people are going to get fucked over, tell me what you want. It's like, well, no, they knew.
Yeah.
He knew.
Also, if this is your plan, if I'm JC, hover over the planet, throw Dutch out, drive off.
If you're worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the predators will find him on the planet. It's their planet.
100%. It's like he has lines that are, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Selling out of the country and stuff like that. That you just wouldn't say.
No, if you knew.
If you knew what was going on, you just wouldn't say that. You're not trying to create any facade or
It's like,
anything
how
that.
long is he keeping up this facade? Yeah. It's one of the worst plans I've ever heard.
This is weird.
Anyway, they now have to do a battle to the death.
Yes.
And they do battle to the death. So they have a fight in the arena. Everyone's cheering and whatnot. But JC ends up impaled on a spear. The king, he's angered by this. And he starts to scream. So suddenly, Dutch grabs the small communicator of JC's neck. And suddenly, who should show up but the renegade predator? He's flying an airship.
What?
Yeah, you know they got the hangar full of ships and stuff. He's flying an airship. And he starts fucking shooting all the crowds and predators. It's described as a massacre. He's like just plowing down, shooting all these predators in the crowd.
I'm envisioning, you know, like ghosts from Halo. You know,
Oh,
just like hovering, just mowing people down.
It's a slightly bigger ship, but yes, not a bad reference.
I'm desperate to know why he was outcasted. If he's coming back and just wiping out everyone.
Fuck you! Yeah. So this ship, it's hovering above the ground, but it's not super far. It's not super far into the air. And Dutch starts running for this ship with the king in pursuit of him. And Dutch manages. So he runs up the big steps to the throne of the predators. And he leaps into the air and he manages to grab onto the ship as he does this. But the king predator grabs his leg and they start flying up into the air. So you got the ship, Dutch hanging from the ship, and then below him the king predator hanging onto Dutch. Dutch grabs a predator weapon and he aims it for the king's head.
Farewell to the king.
Yes! Yes! That's so good.
The king's body falls back onto the planet with all these screaming predators in this arena. Quite a Renaissance-style painting image.
Holding his dead body,
Dutch manages to climb inside the cockpit now, where he sits with the renegade predator. He puts the communicator on his neck. He rifles through the planets on the display screen until he finds Earth. He looks across to his new friend.
They're next.
The ship soars off into space. The end. So it ends very abruptly.
Yeah.
It doesn't resolve anything.
Yeah, it doesn't play into the idea of like the trading of weapons and the relationships that they've got between Earth and stuff.
From the king predator hitting the ground to the end of the script is a page and a half.
Yeah, wow.
It wraps up real quick.
I guess if all you're worried about is Dutch, it's like, well, Dutch got away, guys.
But
mission accomplished.
Every single other person gets killed, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
And why was he on a Spanish galleon?
I don't know.
On another planet?
know.
Like, how is that?
Was that on Earth?
No, that was on a separate planet.
But why was it a Spanish... Like, it's evidently they got a Spanish galleon from back in time.
And they're using primitive weapons like swords and muskets. Dutch had tattoos on his face. They're never explained.
Oh, yeah, the numbers down the side.
I assumed that was how many predators he'd killed.
Oh, maybe.
I thought it was like a prison number thing.
I would say if it was a detail in the script, you could maybe think, oh, it's a bit of exposition to say, yeah, maybe it's what he's killed or he's been another prisoner or whatever. But they call it out specifically in the dialogue as well, where he's like, what's going on with those tattoos on your face?
Well, they do a thing in...
I'll tell you in the second draft.
They do a thing in Alien vs. Predator where when she kills an alien, the Predator gives her a mark on her head with alien acid blood.
Maybe...
So it's like tracking.
Maybe Dutch has been killing aliens.
Well, this is...
Best way I can describe this script is with that meme of the drawing of the horse.
I was
where
just
the start is it's really detailed and really good, and then it just gets progressively worse until it's a stick figure of a horse. That's this script.
I feel 100% like he just ran out of steam. Like it was the deadline. It was due tomorrow. He'd been working on this, and he just
Jace sees evil. I'll work that out later.
Yeah, I felt it sort of,
In a way, I feel bad for people that came back going, I love the first half. Can't wait to hear the second half. That we've let them down.
Well, yeah, because you kind of get all this mysterious setup and everything, and then it's revealed about the relationship with them, which is okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, then it kind of just drops its bundle a bit, and it's like, well, if you're going to follow that, like, in terms of us getting the tech, like, is it the US Army? Like, you know, like doing stuff for your planet and all this kind of stuff.
What government is dealing with it? Is it just the American government or is it the world? All right. What happened to this film?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, we do know that it did eventually get made. But as the draft that we've read here, almost completely different and completely new film compared to what we did get. Ultimately, too expensive. You've got giant arenas full of hundreds of predators. 1995, you're going to have to make all of those costumes. You can't really CGI
it's not
that
CGI
crowd.
yet.
No.
It's not great.
Right,
it's just after Jurassic Park, but yeah.
Seen as way too expensive. The other thing that happened, Arnie passed. He didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it.
So he read it, just didn't buzz him.
Yeah, exactly.
And they put an extra 0 on, and he said, no, still no.
I'm doing Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
So with those two things combined, the fact that this is going to cost $200 million in 1995, and we don't have a big star like Arnold Schwarzenegger coming back to this iconic role, they just shelved it. Fox didn't make another standalone Predator movie.
Yeah.
Until Predators. They tried to reboot it with Alien vs. Predator. And then Robert Rodriguez tells a story about he was sitting at home and a producer rang him from Fox and literally said, hey, I just found your old Predator script. This is what we should have done.
Really?
He rang him up and was like, oh, we now see this is actually probably what we should have done. At that point, you need to rework it. And I've got a little clip of here of Robert Rodriguez talking about, they brought in new writers. He didn't write the Predator script, but it is based on his script.
Yep.
And he talks about how they adapted it into Predators that we did get.
My first draft of an outline from the writers that had a storyline pretty close to what we have here, keeping the idea of the planet, Predator Planet from my original script, the crucified predator, the different clans and predator, different tribes and hierarchy of predators. We tried to keep some of that we liked, but pretty much had to start over, split Arnold into 7 or 8 people and make the movie from there.
So yes, they ended up streamlining it. There are a couple of things that have bled over from the original to the one that we did get. So humans being captured by predators as prey on the predator planet.
Yep.
That whole concept of being reused. The inclusion of non-human prey in the story.
Yep.
That was used. There's specifically something called a river ghost in the predators that we did get, which they were also hunting. The black predator. It was called the berserker predator in predators that we did get, but huge, muscular, kind of alpha predator that hunts them down. And of course, the crucified predator still exists in both versions.
Yep.
Is still set free in the third act and still helps Royce, who is the Dutch of Predators, played by also 80s action icon Adrian Brody. Which, what a wild piece of casting.
Oh, mate.
Because you know what? It kind of works.
It kind of does work. He's not
to
terrible
his credit,
in it.
He got jacked for that movie.
He's not terrible.
And he looks great.
Yeah.
But who would have seen The Pianist and gone, yeah,
that guy. Get him.
But the ultimate question that we want to answer on this podcast is, would have this film been any good? Could it have worked? What do you think, Josh?
I think so. I think like the mystery element in the first half I really like all that kind of stuff, and you're sort of, as the audience, you're catching up to everything. I'd seen like there's plenty of chances for cool predator kills and cool predator stuff. I think the overabundance of predators, I'm not huge on. Like there was that
less is more.
Yeah, like there's an element of like, oh my god, a whole thing. How much damage would they do? But it's also like, yeah, but one was good enough, so you don't need 12 at any one time.
Yeah, I think about the first half, it's really got going, and I do think it sort of starts to trail off at the end. And I don't think the ideas are as clear at the end of the film.
I don't think so.
But I think they could have held over a couple more things to the predators that we got. Like, I really like the idea of them showing them sort of capturing Dutch somewhere, of course, or capturing someone somewhere and bringing them to the planet and those sort of things. And yeah, the recruit, having all the Spec Ops guys is just, yeah, it's really cool. And it does sort of start bleeding into that aliens, like the Marines and stuff like that. But I was just wondering, who would Bill Paxton play?
Oh, would he be JC?
Well, mate, yes.
I could picture him as JC.
Yeah, I reckon that would be good.
Because you don't want another huge muscular guy as JC. You want a contrast between Dutch and JC.
Yeah.
So maybe he would have been a good JC.
Yeah, Bill Paxton.
Yeah, interesting. Robert Rodriguez, who would Danny Trejo have played?
Oh, yeah. Probably one of the Predators.
Probably Gonzalez, let's be honest.
Oh, God.
Just thought of that then, probably. He may have even written Gonzalez to be,
or him as well.
Danny
Yeah,
Trejo,
yeah.
who did turn up in Predators.
Yes, that's
So,
right.
yes,
Yeah, that's true.
he did turn up in Predators. The good news is we often say, wow, imagine if this movie had been made. This one was made. So
Well, we sort of did see
you
a
can just
version
watch
of
it.
it, yeah.
But it gets a big old tick of approval from us, pending a rewrite of the ending.
Yes, correct.
Well, we've come to the end of our cancelled movie report on Robert Rodriguez's original version of Predators. We hope you enjoyed the movie and the episode, and we would love it if you could subscribe, be it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you like to listen. Pick your poison. It doesn't matter to us, but it does help us get discovered in the charts. It would also be terrific if you could leave us a 5-star rating, or most importantly of all, tell a friend. Tell an enemy. We don't care who you tell, just tell someone. We're completely independent here at Cancelled Movie Report, so your support means the world to us. And what do you think of the movie? Did we miss anything? We would love to hear from you. You can always get in touch with us via cancelledmovies@gmail.com or at cancelledmovies on all of the socials. Josh, thank you so much for joining us for this report. It's been, we're in a hot room. It's been a long couple of weeks.
The
here
jungles,
to get through
we're in the
it all.
jungles of the Predators.
Oh my God, the Predators would love this. But if people want to hear more from you, where can they find you?
Yes, the podcast is called Welcome to Patchwork, where we sort of hone in on the little things in life, little social etiquette things, and there's some sketches and silly stuff as well that we do.
Yeah.
So a bit of fun.
Very funny podcast. I think people will really like it.
Yeah.
More than 100 episodes to binge as well. So you got your work cut out for you.
But yeah, thanks for having me on. It was it's really fun. I really enjoy getting the story out and having the scenes and stuff. It really builds out the image in your head, and you get quite a clear image.
You feel like you've seen it now?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
You don't have to watch Predators that does exist anymore. And look, hey, maybe there's a cancel movie project you've always wanted to hear about. Why not let us know? You can fill out the form in the episode description alerting us to a project, and we may just give it the cancelled movie report treatment. I'm Michael Campbell. I've hosted and edited this episode, and Eden Porter is my co-host as well.
Cheers, Campbell.
Oh, different.
Yeah, mixing it up.
Now you've thrown me off. We both produced the show. And we would also love to thank our amazing voice cast led by Joe Gaudet and his amazing Arnold Schwarzenegger impression, all of which you'll find listed in the episode notes below. But make sure you're listening next week, because we're talking about an original version of X-Men written by a favorite of this show, Andrew Kevin Walker.
Yes.
But if you can't wait, here's a sneak peek.
So you want me to join your, what do you call them?
X-Men. There is a war on the way.
From this day on, the Isle of Manhattan no longer belongs to man.
Far worse than anyone imagined.
It now belongs to mutants.
Humanity. Are we a part of that?
We are, unless we make the mistake of excluding ourselves.
It's called the Brotherhood. We're about to be putting a big hurt in a lot of people.
You're out of line, Logan.
This is an opportunity to fight for something far more honorable than a government agenda.
Andrew Kevin Walker's X-Men.
But until next time, take care.